What is up, guys? Welcome back to racenews.com and welcome back to a Kentucky Derby. A little bit of update, recap of what we saw, and then update on the Fantasy League as well. I guess you just get me today. Nobody really showed up, so I guess you're going to get me today for this quick show for you guys. By the way, happy Valentine's Day if you're watching. One of the fakest shows around, or one of the fakest, well, this could be a fake show, but one of the fakest holidays around. Valentine's Day. Hello, Shadi. Good to see you. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to do a shake to start things off here, and then we're going to kind of update everybody on what's going on in the Kentucky Derby. So we'll do the Fantasy League shake first. We've got Jared and we've got the John and Ryan team. They're both shaking for Geaux Rocket Ride, a horse out in Santa Anita. I'll talk about Geaux Rocket Ride after the shake. We've got two teams. Jared will be number one. And then John and Ryan will be number two, and I'll hit this here. So you'll see different numbers pop up when I hit it. So, all right. Jared, number one. John and Ryan, number two. Geaux Rocket Ride. That's the horse we're going to talk about here once we get it done. So Jared is one. John and Ryan is two. This will be the official click of the button. Here we go. And it will be Jared. Jared will get Geaux Rocket Ride. So he will get the Mandela horse. He will drop a Gandolfini. So Geaux Rocket Ride now with Jared. Gandolfini now being dropped. All right, let's talk about Geaux Rocket Ride and why I think this is a pretty good claim for Jared. I like this one. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Equibase now. Since it's just me here, I'll pull up Equibase real quick, and we'll talk about Geaux Rocket Ride here for a second. I think this is a pretty nice horse. Good debut win for Geaux Rocket Ride at Santa Anita for Mandela. A lot of times you'll see Mandela horses run very well in their second starts, maybe not so much their first, but Geaux Rocket Ride able to get the job done. First start of the career here. I'll zoom out so we can see this horse. Candy Ride out of an Uncle Mole mare, and you saw that nice win in the maiden special weight on 129 at Santa Anita. So Geaux Rocket Ride off of that win will point now for the San Felipe coming up on March 4th. So we've seen Baffert dominate these preps early at Santa Anita. However, we've seen him do that because he's been the only guy that has horses in the race. We're going to see Geaux Rocket Ride actually entered. So it'll be interesting to see how that horse runs. So Geaux Rocket Ride to Jared, and we'll see what happens as he goes to the San Felipe for start number two after that impressive win. Another horse out in California that will get claimed today and will not be in a shake. The John and Ryan team will claim Skinner, a horse trained by John Sheriff. We'll pull him up here in a second, and they will drop Nuclear. Nuclear debuted running third in a turf sprint last time out, which was last weekend. So let's look up Skinner here. I mentioned trained by John Sheriff's. Another horse, like I said, claimed today by the John and Ryan team. This horse is a Curlin out of a Malibu Moon mare, so it screams distance for this horse. And you look, the results were pretty poor to start his career, fifth in a maiden special weight. We'll see what happens after that. Well, we went to two grade one races in a row, and we got our butt beat. Comes back in a maiden special weight, though, last time out at Santa Anita. Looks very good. That was on Sunday, I'm sorry. And looked very good going 2 turns. So we'll see. John Sheriff says we're probably going to jump up to stakes company next time out. So that would mean Skinner will be in some kind of stakes, whether it be maybe the San Felipe or maybe the Santa Anita Derby, maybe the Sunland Derby, something like that. So Skinner also gets claimed. We'll see where he ends up next. I think he's a pretty nice horse as well. All right, let's go on here. One other horse will be claimed, and we'll kind of transition this horse that's being claimed into this weekend's talk of the Risen Star. Vinny has claimed Harlow Cap, and he's dropping Fort Warren. Now, Harlow Cap is running this weekend in the Risen Star. Field of 14 is going to be a very good race. Now, what's very interesting is Harlow Cap was previously trained by Bob Baffert. Now he's in the barn of Steve Asmussen, and he had a workout as early as last weekend with Baffert at Santa Anita, but it sounds like we've transferred now to Asmussen as we want Derby points with Harlow Cap. That's what that tells me. So we're going to see Harlow Cap with Asmussen. That's the first Baffert horse that's entered with a different trainer. And of course, as of right now, and this situation is still a fluid situation depending on legal battles that are ongoing for Bob Baffert. But as of right now, Baffert horses have to be transferred out of his barn by the end of this month if they want to earn Kentucky Derby points. Again, that could change, but as of right now, that's what it is. So Harlow Cap, I pulled up the race here as I was talking, the number 5 here in the Risen Star. Guess what? He is with Steve Asmussen, and he can earn Derby points this weekend in the ever-important Risen Star. First 50-point race as well. We'll talk about it for a little bit here. And listen, if you want a ton of in-depth coverage for the Risen Star, we've got a Risen Star wagering guide. Magic Mike Show's going to cover it. Blinkers Off will cover it. So there's a lot of talk going to happen, but I'll quickly kind of run it down. A great field of 14 as far as a betting race goes. I think there's a ton of different ways you can go. Very interesting horses in the race, including Harlow Cap, Tappett's Conquest, Curly Jack, 2 fills, and then all the way to the outside, a couple of gates, a maiden named Croupy, who I think could be decent for Todd Pletcher. And, of course, Victory Formation, my number 4 horse right now, is in this spot. But he breaks from the 13 hole. He's got speed. So do a lot of others. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this shakes out. I think this is one of our better prep races yet. As far as, depth goes, do we have like a star horse? Let's not forget Epicenter was the gate to wire winner of this last year, and he went on to do really good things. Second in the Kentucky Derby, second in the Preakness. Do we have a horse coming out of this race that's going to be a second in the Derby, second in the Preakness type? I'm not real sure. It's going to be interesting to see, how that goes. I don't think we've got an Epicenter in this group. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I own Victory Formation in the Fantasy League. I like him quite a bit. I don't know if he's a superstar. This will be the first test for him to really find that out. He's been running at much shorter distances than what I think he's going to eventually excel at. I think 1 1/8 mile, 1.25 is where Victory Formation needs to run. He gets a 1 1/8 race here. I think the Risen Star is a good spot for him. So he's going to be tough. We've got a lot of other horses in here as well. A lot to look forward to on this card. One more race I do want to mention before we get out of here that I think is going to have some big implications. We'll go to race 8 at Fairgrounds coming up on Saturday as well. It's an allowance race. It's a field of 8 going 1 1/16. And we've got Banishing back. And a lot of people have Banishing very high on their radar, despite the fact he's only won a maiden. A lot of people really love that maiden special weight win at Fairgrounds. He's back now. He's in an allowance. He'll be the number 6 horse in this race. He's definitely one to watch. And this allowance in general is one to watch. This is probably going to produce a couple of of Louisiana Derby starters in their next starts. Banishing, he's going to be a big favorite in this race. Also, number 5, First Defender, is a horse you better watch out for as well for Steve Asmussen. This horse was really sharp on debut last time out. That was on LeCompte Stakes Day. Like I say, debut runner, maiden special weight, really just kind of dominated the field. He'll come back, going 2 turns now. We'll see what First Defender can do. He's the number 5. And the number 4, Tappet Shoes, an erratic runner last time out in a similar race to this on LeCompte Day in an allowance race, where Determinedly and Tappett's Conquest ran 1-2, and now they're in the Risen Star. Well, Tappet Shoes was behind them, but maybe if we kind of fix his running issues, he was kind of all over the track that day. We'll see what Tappet Shoes can do this time around. It'll be interesting to see how he runs. So that's another big Kentucky Derby kind of radar race to talk about, and I'm sure it'll get a lot of play on the channel this week at race 8 at Fairgrounds on Saturday. So that's the 2 we're looking forward to the most. Race 8, that allowance race featuring Banishing, First Defender, and Tappet Shoes. And, of course, the Risen Star Stakes itself, going to be a really good race as well. So a lot to look forward to this weekend. We're starting to get this thing heated up. We've got the Risen Star this weekend. The Rebel is next weekend. And then I think there's 3 or 4 preps the next weekend on March 4th. So we're heating up. These races now are kind of winning your ends. If you get 50 points, you're probably going to be in the Kentucky Derby. So it's a lot of fun when that happens. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for now. We will be back probably with an update next week. Next week, because a lot's going to go down at Fairgrounds, and there'll be a lot of moving and shaking. But for now, that is it. Thanks, everybody, for watching this Kentucky Derby update. We'll see you all week and weekend on the channel as we cover these races like always. And we'll probably be right back here on Tuesday with another Kentucky Derby update. All right, guys, have a good one. Have a good Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next week.